Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. A new committee's been formed to try to bring NHL hockey back to the Valley. The goal is to get a new team and a new arena after the departure of the Arizona Coyotes franchise, which relocated to Utah last year. To learn more, we welcome Thomas Galvin, chairman of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. Tom, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, the advisory panel on pro hockey to Arizona. What is that?
Yeah, well, last year when I saw the Coyotes leave town, I was really upset by it, not just as a sports fan, but as a community booster and an advocate for our valley and for the state. I believe this is a reputational hit for Arizona. We are a state that attracts pro sports teams. That's who we're able to get our football team, the Cardinals. And because we're such a big growth state, we're not usually in the business of losing teams to other states. And I just found it really unfortunate. But one of the things I noticed was that people took glee in the demise of the Coyotes, and I really got upset by that. And I consider it to be our hockey team. I underscore the word our. And I really want to see what we can do to get a professional team back, because it's not just a sports question, but it's an economic development question as well.
When you say people took glee when the team left, what did you see? What did you hear?
Yeah, I saw politicians taking shots at the Coyotes before their scheduled state land auction. And of course, after it happened, not everyone, but a lot of people just said, well, that's the Coyotes. What I like to do is separate the Coyotes that got bad headlines because of the various ownership groups that screwed up over the years, and separate it from the really good fan base that we have here in the Valley, and also the welcoming opportunity that we always provide businesses that want to come here.
I want to get to that previous ownership in a second here, but who's on the committee?
We haven't announced the names yet, but we did announce one big name this week, and it's Andrea Doan, the wife of Shane Doan, who played for the Coyotes the entire time that they were here. Andrea is also a mother of an NHL player. Their son Josh played for the Coyotes as well. And she's going to be a terrific partner of mine and also a great chair of the committee. And she's going to really do a good job of expounding and expanding for the Valley.
Okay. The biggie, obviously, is finding a new ownership group. Judging from previous ownership groups, what are you looking for and what are you looking to avoid?
Well, first of all, they have to have deep pockets. And unfortunately, in this day and age of pro sports, they have to be a billionaire. So if you know any billionaires that are interested in hockey teams, give me a call. But secondly, and I've been saying this in various interviews, they have to care about the community. They have to care about the Valley. We had a press conference last week with Andrea Doan, but we did it at the Scottsdale Ice Den with the Schott Foundation, which is a youth hockey advocacy group. And at the podium, we were surrounded by kids. These are kids who love to play hockey. It's boys and girls of all ages. And so whoever wants to come in and bring a hockey team back to the Valley, do it as we're doing it, building it from the bottom up, not from the top down, and show that you care about the community.
Is that the problem, building from top down? Was that among the problems of previous ownership? Los Arcos, for goodness sakes, was going to be a hockey arena. They've been all over the place.
And that was 20 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I want to bring it back to the mandate of the committee that I have established since I announced it back in January. It's two things. One is to find the owner, as we discussed, but two is to find a good, viable location. And the previous iterations of the Coyotes just didn't work because they never found a good location. If you want to have a world-class arena, great, but you have to have a good location. So this committee, we're going to work together, political leaders, business leaders, and hockey experts. It's a three-legged stool, and we're going to collectively come up with an idea where the best place is and hopefully identify the best owner.
Define, though, a viable, suitable place for an arena.
Okay, well, we all know that the Coyotes didn't work out in their previous location out in the West Valley. So there's only certain locations that I think would be good. You need to be near a downtown core. You need to have good access to highways. You also need to be near where your fan base was. And what the Coyotes realized was that their fan base was not out in Glendale. They're downtown and in the East Valley. One of the reasons why they went to Mullet Arena at ASU, but the arena was too small. Also, in this day and age, people want the suites. They want all the bells and whistles. They want all the amenities. If you want to do it, don't build it out in the middle of nowhere. Let's identify a good site to host it.
The possibility of using public funds to build an arena, is that on the table?
That's a hypothetical that, frankly, the new owner will have to deal with. But I just saw firsthand how the Chase Field deal was done. That was a bipartisan effort at the state legislature between Governor Hobbs, a Democrat, and the state legislature was controlled by Republicans. But Chase Field is a community asset. It's owned by the government. So public-private partnerships work in theory sometimes, but that's a long way down the road. We need to find the owner and the location first.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it didn't work all that well with Tempe.
No,
with
it
the
didn't work that well
Coyotes.
for Tempe politically for the previous Coyotes ownership.
Yes.
So whoever comes in, whatever they want to do to advocate for public support, they got to do it the right way.
So how does this effort, this recruiting, this is basically a recruiting effort on the whole here.
Yep.
How does this differ from past recruiting efforts, getting ownership, finding the right arena? Everything you've talked about
Yeah.
has been attempted in the past, and the hockey team's now in Utah.
Well, it's about leadership, but also what I say is I want to underpromise and overdeliver. I think a lot of times the previous Coyotes ownership groups overpromised to fans, sold a bill of good to fans. Even the last ones who are guaranteeing that they're going to win the state land auction, that whole thing was a shambolic effort that fell apart 2 days in advance. So what I'm going to do is work with these folks behind the scenes, do the hard work behind closed doors. We're not looking for camera flash bulbs. We're not looking for headlines. We're going to announce news when there is news, but the hard work has to be done behind closed doors, and it has to be done in collaborative effort with local experts.
What about collaborative effort with the NHL? Have you talked to the NHL? What are they saying? I mean, the commissioner has always been so high on Arizona, almost to a fault.
Right.
I would imagine he's interested, but I don't know how interested.
Well, this whole process started almost a year ago when I cold called Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, and got a meeting with him. To the surprise and shock of my staff. But we had a great meeting, and when I said this is what I was interested in, he said absolutely. And he's been a great partner. But also at the same time, for Gary Bettman's perspective, we're not entitled to a hockey team or an NHL team. We have to go out and earn it. We have to show how we're going to do it the right way. So he's watching us. He's watching several other cities. I'm not concerned about these other cities. I'm concerned about Phoenix. But what I'm doing here is that I'm working as a regional booster, a community advocate, and saying this is the greatest place to host sports. We have the Super Bowl. We have NASCAR. We have the Phoenix Open. We can do this.
Yeah, last question. We can do this. We tried it, and we didn't work last time. That's A. But B, for those watching right now saying, why should I possibly care at all about us getting, the community getting an NHL hockey franchise?
Well, first of all, Salt Lake City is very happy that they took away our team. Secondly, the entire country took notice that we did lose a team, and frankly, it played out in national headlines how the whole process fell apart. And three, it's an economic development driver. One of the things that surprised me after my initial announcement in January was how many businesses were affected by the loss of the Coyotes who reached out to me and told me, including their dentist, which I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So there's secondary and tertiary aspects of this. And for me, it's just about economic development and about our regional reputation.
Thomas Galvin, Chair, Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, talking about the advisory panel on pro hockey to Arizona. Good to see you again.
Great, Ted. Thank you.